Hi, my name is Eric Cao. I'm managing strategic cloud business unit in Falcon Store. MoveWorkload.com, or MWDC, was officially started as a skunkworks project 18 months ago, aimed to redefine key Falcon Store technology in the new cloud era. I'm thrilled to introduce you this new service just hit general availability. For current NSS and CDP customers, you are able to connect to MWDC with your existing on-premise investment on Falcon Store. In the video today, we are going to spend 20 minutes to go over slides to explain what the service is, a real production demo, the end-to-end architecture, and important need to know before you sign up the service. Without further delay, MoveWorkload.com is a B2B software as a service that moves any workload, including Windows Server, virtual machine, or any business application server, from an on-premise environment to a public cloud infrastructure, such as Amazon Web Services. AWS is no doubt the way ahead leader in the public cloud space, offering infrastructure as a service. That's why it is our first choice. The easy-to-use web portal makes complicated IT projects such as data center expansion or migration, dev test, and disaster recovery a complete self-service experience. I want to elaborate these three main use cases. If you have to expand your data center immediately for whatever business requirements, there's no time for you to look for a new floor space. There's no time for you to procure new hardware. With MWDC, you are able to get additional data center space instant available in the cloud. You can move overcapacity workloads right away. Your data center is being expanded on the fly. For dev test, whenever there's a new major software release, such as Microsoft Windows Server, Oracle Database, or SAP as the ERP system available, as an IT manager, how do you guarantee there's no performance, functionality, or reliability issue before you upgrade production? What you need is a second environment almost identical to the production, so you can do testing beforehand. But we all know setting up a second environment identical to production will be very cost prohibitive. Hardware procurement alone will probably cost you 3 months or more. It's not realistic. With MWDC, you can easily move production servers to the cloud, conducting real development and testing. You can launch hundreds of clients if you have to. Once the testing is done, to make sure everything's all right, you turn everything off. And all you need to pay is 1 week of cloud service consumption. No environment left behind, which will be no use after this particular production upgrade. We see this as a total paradigm shift you can accomplish with MWDC. Disaster recovery. MWDC offers disaster recovery as a service. You don't need to set up a DR site beforehand. All you need is to select workloads to recover in a disaster situation, ranging from common system hardware failure all the way to natural disaster like blizzard or hurricane causing power outage. It's all done in a complete self-service experience. We want to make it as easy as Dropbox. From our perspective, Dropbox moves file to the cloud. MWDC moves workload to the cloud. All we focus is how to move workloads to the cloud in a smooth and easy manner. The seamless cloud integration automates end-to-end workload movement, bridging the gap between on-premise data centers and the public cloud infrastructure with total freedom to fulfill changing business requirements. So we do not care what business requirements you want to satisfy by moving workloads to the cloud. All we want to make sure, once the decision is made, we want you to move the workloads as smoothly and as easily as possible. I want to explain the end-to-end architecture to Falcon Store NSS and CDP install base existing accounts like yourself. In this slide, at the left side, it is the on-premise environment you are familiar with. Falcon Store NSS or CDP server protects Windows Physical, Hyper-V, or VMware VM, keeping the up-to-date disk images and snapshots in server repository. What we do with MWDC is to customize and embed storage virtualization engine and recovery automation engine in AWS EC2 environment at the right-hand side, which is the compute environment of AWS, in which you are able to launch any server instance in the cloud. The replication being set up between on-premise and then CDP and the storage virtualization engine. You select the workloads you like to move. The system and data disk images are replicated to the storage virtualization engine as AWS EBS disks, which is the AWS Elastic Block Storage infrastructure. Once the initial replication is complete, whenever you like to launch a new server instance identical to your original on-premise workload, the recovery automation engine will pick up the EBS disks and automatically convert and launch the new instance. You will get a public IP to connect to via RDP or whatever ports you like to access depending on the nature of the launched instance. Obviously, we're talking about a lot of workload movement steps end-to-end. Fortunately, we have designed a brand new web portal to deliver a completely easy-to-use and self-service experience, as I have been keep emphasizing, to disrupt and consumerize the traditional IT user experience. I hope you can realize the vision and mission based on the demo I'm about to show you next. So this is our official production site, www.moveworkload.com. It is instant workload transport. Free your workloads across hypervisor and cloud areas. You will find comprehensive information here at the upper right corner, including overview, FAQ, pricing, and a contact us form. Click sign in. I want to explain a little bit about the demo scenario today. So we have set up a web server. This is a web server with a private IP and a simple script to give information about this particular web server. You are going to, after moveworkload.com, the action we're about to complete, you will able to see an identical web server being launched in AWS through MWDC with a public IP address which we can connect to. Now log in the demo account. We want to make the end-to-end move workload experience as easy as Dropbox. So we see this as easy as 4 steps. The first step, you select your destination by region. That's the cloud side. The second step, you connect to the on-premise side, which is your existing Falcon Store NSS or CDP server. The third step, once you have both sides connected, you start your replication. You select workloads and replicate the system and data disks of the selected workloads from on-premise to the cloud. In the last step, once the replica is ready, you can bring up the service by 3 types: recovery, migration, or dev test. First, we want to select the cloud region. You will see there's one region already configured, which is US East, Northern Virginia. If you want to add more regions, which the list coming from the worldwide coverage of AWS, you can add it here. You will see Northern Virginia as the US East, Northern California as US West, Asia Pacific, including Tokyo and Singapore data centers, and Europe data center in Ireland. So the US East is already configured for this demo purpose. On-premise. This is to connect to your Falcon Store server, NSS or CDP on-premise. We have one Falcon Store server, which is a CDP configured already for this demo. If you want to add more, you can add multiple Falcon Store server in your environment. All you need is a server IP address, administrator account, administrator password, and a very important feedback from our beta sites is some customers might have concern to open firewall ports for this purpose. We do offer peer-to-peer or site-to-site VPN to address this concern, as you can see here. Once you have both cloud and premise configured ready, we'll start to replicate. So there are two hosts or two workloads here in the table, MWDC data and MWDC IIS. We are going to use the IIS for demo today, but this you can basically start replicating all your workloads or your selected workloads from on-premise to the cloud by creating new replica here. This is a wizard, a 7-step wizard. You get all the information required, then the replication of the workloads will start it automatically. So given time constraint, I will not demo replication today. We do have two hosts replicated ready for our demo, which we'll use the IIS one. So this is the service section I want to demo today. So we already have one host, one dev test being launched ready. As you can see here, the host is available to connect here. So because the process, once you configured a new service, and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete the whole launch sequence. So let me start to create a new service to walk you through the wizard. So first step, you have to select a replica. All these replicas are ready in AWS by the previous replica section. I'll go ahead and select IIS. This is probably the most important step in the whole MWDC portal. You can launch the instance identical to your original on-premise workload in 2 modes and 3 types. You have system mode and data mode. So system mode meaning that you're launching the instance with identical system and license you have on-premise. The data mode means we are going to spin up a new license and new system in the cloud, and we can plug in the data disks replicated from on-premise into this new instance. So the system mode gives you the complete identical system as your on-premise. The data mode gives you a new system, but with the same data disks you have on-premise. And there are 3 types: dev test, recovery, and migration. Dev test, you can spin up multiple instances for any selected workload you want for any development and testing activities you like to complete in the cloud. The only difference between recovery and migration is recovery gives you the option to fail back to on-premise once it's being launched in the cloud. And migration is one directional from on-premise to AWS. For demo case today, I'm going to select system mode, which gives us the identical system as on-premise, and the dev test. You can spin up multiple instances for development and testing activities in the cloud. You have to configure your instance spec. What kind of instance you want to spin up in AWS environment. You will see several options, and this is going to be evolved to include more instance spec as the latest from AWS. So once you select the instance type, it comes with a specific CPU and memory configuration. and you configure your network, we'll go with the default as a dynamic assignment of public IP. Because we are doing a demo with this particular web server, so by default, all the firewall ports are disabled for security reasons. For any instance you want to bring up in AWS. And RDP, that's the Windows remote desktop connection. That's the default port we enabled to make sure you're able to connect to the launched instance. So I'm going to add port 80 because it's a web server. We want to confirm if it's running okay by port 80. I'm going to add a HTTP port here so we can connect later. Next. This is the review page to make sure all the settings are correct, or if you want to change anything. Save. So now, this is the new service we just created. Once you created the new service, we have to run it. The diagram gives you the idea that it's a one-to-many relationship. You can launch multiple instances based on this particular workload. Next. So you have one system disk, you have one data disk. Not only we can launch the instance based on the latest server status, we can also go back to a certain point in time, depending on the number of snapshots that we keep in MWDC that you configure. So we're going to have a pick one. We're going to go ahead and pick another one here, just to make sure we go back to the point in time we want to with the new instance in the cloud. Again, this is a review page to make sure you have your runtime parameters set correctly. Click Run. So the job is running. Okay, you will see a marquee type of a message update here in the column here. If you click I, that will give all the activities, all the step-by-step that's being automated by the system up to this point. The whole process, as mentioned earlier, takes about 10 to 15 minutes. So we don't want to, obviously we don't have that time to wait, so I have created one instance, launched instance ready for us to connect for this demo purpose. This one is being done with exactly identical steps that I just showed you. With a public IP here, I'm able to copy and paste. So that gives you a new web server instance that's identical to your original on-premise, which we have private IP here, 192.168.200.115. And now you have a public IP here in AWS 52, 0, 223, and 40. That gives you some information. Just for demo purpose, it's a live and running IIS in AWS, moved by MWDC. So that will conclude the demo today. Let me switch back to the slide deck. Just one last slide. There are several important needs to know here. Everything stays the same with on-premise NSN CDP you have, including technical support line, maintenance contract, and etc. There's a support request form in the help section in the portal, so you can reach out to MWDC support team with any requests or feedback specific to MWDC, and we will respond within 24 hours. We ask every user to sign up MWDC with your Amazon payment account, so we can charge your usage on a monthly basis in pay-as-you-go manner. If you'd like to place POs like you did before for Falcon Store products, you can also reach out to us during the sign-up process, then we will arrange for you accordingly. While Amazon payment is still the most convenient way for multiple reasons. We leverage Amazon Payment Gateway because we don't keep any credit card numbers, while relying on Amazon payment security and infrastructure to give you the highest peace of mind. You will only see bills from MWDC. MWDC will pay to AWS behind the scene to cover the corresponding cost in AWS infrastructure. You can review intro video, overview, pricing, and comprehensive FAQ that I just showed you on the homepage to fully understand moveworkload.com. There will be more exciting updates coming up in the near future. Please follow our official Twitter account with handle MWDC 2015 to stay updated and tweet with hashtag MWDC. We'd love to hear from you on the social media. You will see one form to contact us on the homepage and another support request form in the portal once you sign up. The 24/7 support team is monitoring both forms carefully and ready to follow up in a timely manner. Last but not least, we are very confident in this innovative offering. To make it even easier for you to try it as soon as possible, we offer 100 sign-up credit code, as you can see here. You can enter the code right after sign-up, so the first $100 cost on your bill will be removed free of charge. If you review our pricing model, that is equivalent to replicating a 400 gig disk and keeping it in MWDC for a full month. We are going to give away more credits for tweeting and case study activities to help us on marketing awareness, with more details to come. So let me show you where to input the credit code very quickly, which also include our presentation today. Once you sign up the service, you will get access to this portal, and you can input the credit code here. Then you will have 100 equivalent credit that's going to be removed from your first bill in MWDC. So this will conclude my presentation today. I hope you can sign up as soon as possible and enjoy the ride. Thank you.